Hi, my name is Angie Medlin, and I am a 29-year-old English professor from sunny Southern California with a few poetry publications under my belt while I work on my debut novels, one being a romantasy novel, the other being a zombie apocalypse novel. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Writing Talks with Angie. Today we're going to be having a pretty short discussion on something very important to writing, being descriptive. Now, I don't think one video is really going to convey all the techniques and resources that are available to helping writers be descriptive, but I am going to be having a kind of a short talk today with you folks about one technique that I use and that I teach my students called show versus tell. And show versus tell really comes down to the idea that you want to show a scene in your reader's head versus just telling them what happened or describing a scene with a simple adjective or a few simple adjectives. And the way to really do this is to incorporate as many of the five senses into your writing as possible. So if I say a sentence like, I was scared when I saw the mean-looking dog in the alley, yeah, scared, I know what that means, and I know what mean looking kind of means in my head, but I convey a sense of dread in my reader if I say something more along the lines of, the hair on the back of my neck stood on end when I saw the stray dog. When it saw me, it bared its teeth and started to growl. Now I have replaced a couple of words. Instead of scared, I'm saying that the hair on the back of my neck is standing on end. I never even have to say the word scared, and we still convey the same meaning. We show the reader what the character is experiencing. Same thing with mean looking dog. I didn't say mean in the second sentence, but we still get a sense that this dog is not friendly because it bared its teeth and it started to growl. So it really is about kind of jam-packing your sentences with sensory details and with even omitting simple adjectives for longer descriptions. Now, another example that I have is actually an excerpt that I pulled from my romantasy novel. So I'm going to be reading three different versions of this excerpt. One is okay, one is better, and one is the best. And at the end, we'll come back together and kind of talk about why the best one is the best. This is the okay version. But he'd loved the stories when Elena told them. When she spoke, she sounded much like their mother, Queen Corelia, from what Fallon could remember. She looked similar to their mother as well. Elena's stories made him want to believe. Better. But he'd loved the stories when Elena told them. She had a similar voice to their mother, Queen Corelia, from what Fallon could remember. Her eyes were green, like his and the king's, but held the same warmth as the queen. And it was her stories about fairies, the moon, and dragons that made a young Fallon want to believe. And this is the best. But he'd loved the stories when Elena told them. She had the same velvet voice as their mother, Queen Corelia, from what Fallon could remember. Her eyes were green like his and the king's, but always held the same warmth and clarity that their mother's brown eyes had held. When she spoke, it was soft, but always with an air of elegance and truth. Her stories about meeting fairies in the garden, drinking water left out under the full moon, and why the dragons had vanished made a young Fallon want to believe. We have the same scene conveyed in three different versions, but with the best version, we have a scene that is jam-packed with imagery. We have sensory details, we get colors, we get emotions, we get feelings, versus the okay version, which just kind of tells us what's going on, and we don't really get that engagement that we get from the last passage. So again, just a really quick little discussion on that technique, show versus tell. If you guys want me to go into any more detail about being descriptive or to kind of share any of my other techniques or resources, please let me know. And please let me know if you have any questions for me as well. You can put them in the comments, wherever that may be. Again, I love you all. Thank you for enjoying this journey with me and enjoying my videos. Stay safe, stay sane in these crazy times, and I will be back with another video very shortly. Bye-bye.